Hello, friends. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Old Man Aben, and the purpose of my channel is to help young adults navigate their complicated world by giving them a different perspective. A perspective of looking back at the same choices that I made when I was your age and what I learned in the process of my successes and my failures. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that is very controversial. About 50-50, I think, of the people that I know that believe in God will agree and 50% will disagree. And that is that I believe in God, but I don't believe in the church. I believe in God because of what I see in the world around me. The beauty, the complexity, the awesome majesty of this place that we live. When I look at the human body and I see the amazing complexity, the brain and how it works and how we don't really understand very much about the brain and the human body. We're learning things every day. When I see a sunset, when I see a newborn baby, when I hear music that moves me, all these things, it just can't be an accident that something crawled out of a pool of primordial ooze and developed into what I see in the world around me. I believe that it has to be a design with the designer. And that's what I believe. The problem is not the fact that I believe in God or I don't believe in God. There are people all over the world that believe in God. But the problem is they believe in their version of God. Some people believe in Jesus. Some people don't. They believe in God, but they don't believe in Jesus. Other people believe that Jesus is the absolute only way, and you can't even talk about God. You have to only talk about Jesus. And somebody else, they believe in Jesus' mother, and you've got to believe in her. Other people believe in a different version of God altogether. The American Indians, when the explorers came, believed in the Great Spirit. I believe that that Great Spirit is the same God that I believe in today. Other people don't believe in different facets or accentuate certain facets and say that if you don't become exactly like us, then you're not going to make it. That doesn't sound like the God that I believe exists. There are thousands of different denominations, and each denomination or religion takes something that they feel is the thing, the number one thing. And if you don't have this particular thing, if you don't believe in it exactly the way we believe it, then you're lost. The church has become a business. And I'm not talking in the last 20 years. I'm talking in the last 1,000 years. It's become a business. The church has lost its focus on God and the people that they are supposed to be serving. And they have redirected that purpose into what is best for the church as a business. God tells us to love each other and to support each other. But the church criticizes anyone who does not believe exactly like they do. And even worse, they say that if you don't believe exactly as they do, then you're lost and you're going to hell. When I talk about this to some people, a lot of people will say, well, what about Hebrews chapter 10, where it says, don't give up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but we should get together and encourage each other. And I agree with that 100%. But I don't believe that it has to be in a church. Because the church is corrupt. Every church that I've ever known anything about eventually will become corrupt. When they start to make their decisions based upon the money that's coming in, they make their decisions based upon which people in the church they're going to cater to, because the ones who don't bring the money aren't really important, and the ones that have the money are the ones that we need to make happy. I agree that we should get together with people who worship the same God that we worship, that are the same good people that we are, that we want to be. We should get together with those people, and we should encourage each other. We should support each other. We should make a difference in our world with those people. But you don't need a church to do that. The church is supposed to be about people and about loving people. But it has become an institution that makes business decisions on what's best for the business. And they no longer operate in an exclusive, God loves you, and so because of that, we have unconditional love for you. It has become, join us, become the empire. Darth Vader is the supreme priest, and if you want to be on the winning side, come on our side. Everybody else is rebellion. I've seen it happen so many times. When I was in my 30s, I left the church that I had grown up in, I guess you might say, because I was tired of church and the way that it was being run. I was so discouraged with watching people get ripped to shreds in a church because they didn't match up or measure up to what the church thought that they should be. A big part of it happened when I got divorced, because in my church, divorce was a bad thing. And I got divorced. My wife ran off with my best friend and had an affair. I didn't have any choice in this divorce. It was forced upon me. And the church destroyed me because I was one of them. I was one of those people who got a divorce. And I won't even get into how they treat people who get an abortion. I am so tired of the church who says that they represent God, making moral judgments on people. You don't live in that person's heart. You don't live in that person's life. There's a lot of people that live lifestyles that I don't understand. And I'll be honest, I really don't agree with that lifestyle. But it doesn't mean I hate them. Because if God loves them, then I'm supposed to love them. And I have all kinds of people in my family that I don't agree with, that do things that I don't think are right. And yes, sometimes it does come to a point where sometimes you may have to block people out of your life. But you don't have to hate them. The church is supposed to be a place of healing. The church is supposed to be a place of acceptance. The church is supposed to be a place of safety. But it has become anything but that. It has become a place of criticism and gossip and backstabbing, opportunism. And it's not the people's fault a lot of times. It's just the system. It's like our government system. Our government system has become corrupt just because of time and people. Yeah, the people who serve in a church are flawed people. And so any system that is based upon flawed people is going to be a flawed system. And eventually it becomes more and more and more corrupt to the point where you have to basically burn it down and start over. And that's the way it works in this world. God, I believe in him. And I believe that a lot of people in the world believe in the same God as me, but they haven't had the same experience as me. They didn't grow up in a church that talked about Jesus. They didn't grow up in a church that talked about the things that were important to the church that I grew up in. When the Native Americans were here on this continent worshiping the Great Spirit, they'd never heard of Jesus. They didn't know who Jesus was. Nobody had come and told them about Jesus. So how could they ever have a faith that was based on Jesus? Are you telling me that every Native American that has died throughout the centuries and millennia are all automatically going to hell because they don't have a profession of Jesus? If that was the kind of God that I served, then I wouldn't want anything to do with him or her. God is something that is based and formed in love, and encouragement, and strength, and security. And who are we as humans to think that we have got God figured out to the point where we can say, if you don't do it just like this, then you are wrong and you are not godly. You got an idea what you think is right. I respect that. But don't come over here telling me that I have to believe that just because you do. That doesn't sound like God to me. That sounds like a business, a cult, that's trying to get me to give up on everything that I believe and be what they believe so that they can control me. The church has disappointed me many, many, many times in my life. And the older I got, the more that disappointment hurt. Because I really felt that it should be the place where I could go and be safe. But because I wasn't exactly what they thought that I should be, it was anything but safe. And I've seen people run over and chop down because they wouldn't comply to what the church said. Not too long ago, a couple hundred years is not a long time as far as time goes, people who called themselves the church were killing and torturing people because they didn't believe exactly the way they did. God is love. And God does, he's like a parent. There comes times where God does have to discipline people who refuse to comply with him. I agree with that. But that's not the church's job. The church has destroyed as many or more lives than it has helped. I know people who have gone into churches, grown up in churches, and then been destroyed so badly that they will never, ever have a relationship with anything that has to do with God again in the rest of their life because of how they were treated in a church. The world has seen wars where millions of people have died because of churches. If only we could get together in this world and hold hands and lock arms and say we're much more alike than we are different. Good people are good people. It doesn't matter what church they go to. Good people are good people, and bad people are bad people. Find people that are like you. Find people that are trying to be the best they can be and do the best that they can, even if they don't believe exactly the way that you do. And become a community lift each other up, support each other, encourage each other the way that God says that we should. Well, that's it for today. Hit the like button if you liked this video, if it was helpful to you. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content from me in the future. And leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you, or maybe you have a question or a topic that I can help you with. Have a great day, my friends. We'll see you on the next one.